So, 10 wasn't enough for you all? How about another 10? Let's see if these will satiate your game-breaking desires. So I know that 1 D&D just came out, and it's this whole big thing about a playtest for a new kind of revamp for D&D 5e, and they're going to be changing a whole bunch of things, but this is still the here and now. D&D 5e is still king, and so we are still doing D&D 5e character builds. But first, an explanation for my style of optimization. I don't see ability scores as the end-all be-all for power. I find unique abilities far more interesting and useful for designing the ultimate power-based character. So with that in mind, feats and features are king. They are the way that I designed these following characters, and their abilities dictate their power and usefulness, along with how they're handled in the game. Number 1 is the War-Tortle, a level 1 build focused around having an impossible to hit armor class. For your race, go with Tortle, which gives you a natural locked-in AC of 17, and it straight up bans you from using armor. But don't worry, there are loopholes. For your background, go with Strixhaven Student, any of them, and take Silvery Barbs as your level 1 spell to gain from the subsequent feat that it grants you. And then for your 1 class level, take it in Cleric, and while you can, technically, go with any subclass, go with the War Domain one, because it has the spell we need as its domain spell, which means that you can prepare others and not have to worry about maintaining your combo at the expense of something else potentially useful. And now, for the logic behind these choices. Your AC is 17 and you have a shield, which still gives you a benefit of +2. You can then cast Shield of Faith as a bonus action from your cleric level for another +2, and enter your shell as an action for a final +4 bonus to your AC, meaning that in one turn, at level 1, you can just, laying on the ground naked with a shield, have an AC of 25. And judging from the fact that most low CR monsters, the kind that you're fighting at level 1, have attack bonuses between +3 and 5, you'll never be hit except by crits. And that's where Silvery Barbs comes in. It's verbal only, so you don't even need to worry about Warcaster or casting it with Occupy Hands. You can always cast it. And from the feat, you can do it once a day for free. Also, you're a level 1 cleric. You have plenty of attacking options too. But this is just more of a be a wall that your friends can hide behind kind of build. For higher levels, do as much dumb stuff as you can. Take a level 1 dip into Barbarian for the con bonus to AC, grab some Monk too when you're at it. You'll have to drop the shield, but if you're a cleric, your wisdom bonus should be higher than that anyway. Take the Martial Adept feat to get Parry or Riposte, get Absorb Elements to shrug off saving throw spell damage, and just become as untouchable as you can. Remember, saving throws are this build's weakness. Anything to make them a non-issue, you should consider doing. Just like Lucky or a Ring of Protection. Just use your head, or your shell in this case. Number 2 is the Man of Steel, and it's a level 3 build. And yes, it's another AC one. If you don't like it, skip to the next one. I'm just trying to break the game, and there's not many ways to do that. Start by going with Warforged as your race, and then take Soldier as your background. Go Artificer for all 3 of your levels, making sure that at level 2 you take the Enhanced Defense and Armor of Magical Strength infusions. The other 2 don't matter because you can only prepare 2 per day. And at level 3, take the Armor subclass going with the Guardian Armor type. So what does all of this mean? Well, it means that at level 3, with a suit of Plate Armor and a shield, you can have an AC of 22 due to Enhanced Defense infusion and Warforged racial feature. You can also do a bunch of dumb Artificer stuff too, like take the temp HP from your Guardian subclass and Thunder Wave, and that's all fun. As you level this guy up, make sure their infusions grow stronger by taking more levels in Artificer, and just keep buffing yourself. Get that +2 from Enhanced Defense, grab some Wizard and take Shield. Just become Iron Man, I guess, I don't know. Number 3 is gonna have to be Stormbreaker, and they are a level 4 build. Start by going with Variant Human as your race and take the Elemental Adept feat using Lightning as your damage choice. This means that you ignore lightning resistance when you attack creatures, and that all ones you roll with lightning damage are counted as 2s. Take the Strixhaven student background again, making sure to take a house that meshes well with this build, i.e. take one that doesn't have much overlap in terms of spells, so that way you have more choices. And now for your levels. Go with 1 into Cleric, taking the Tempest domain, and then fill them out to be 2 in Cleric and 2 in Wizard, taking the Order of Scribes subclass when you hit level 2 in Wizard. Now why is this build on the list, I hear you asking? Because it's all about the lightning. With the Tempest domain Cleric, you can, as your channel divinity, maximize the damage on any lightning spell you cast. And then with the Order of Scribes Wizard, you can change the damage type of any spell into the same as any other spell you know. So you could make a Guiding Bolt deal lightning damage, or a Fireball at later levels, or even Magic Missile for that auto maximum damage. For future levels, you can go all the way to Cleric 18 if you want 3 channel divinities per rest, that is 3 uses of this ability, or stop at any level before if you see something in Wizard that looks worthwhile. Character number 4 is a build I guess I'm gonna call Longarms, and they are for character level 5. For your race, go with Bugbear, which gives you a longer reach with melee weapons. Your background doesn't matter, go with Outlander or something else useful. And then for your levels, take all 5 in Fighter. At Fighter level 1, go with the Great Weapon fighting style, and at level 3, go with Rune Knight as your subclass, taking the Cloud and Fire runes. At level 4, take the Polearm Master feat, and then you're set. This build functions on Reach. When it's your turn, and I'll get into why that matters later, you can, as a bonus action, become large from your subclass, and then attack twice with a 15-foot reach from a large space that's 36 spaces around you, by my rough calculations. Now that is only on your turn, because there's some weird wording there, so when it's not your turn, you only have a reach of 10 feet, so take that in mind. When a creature enters your range and you are wielding a polearm, so a lance, glaive, halberd, or whatever, you can immediately make an attack against them for a reaction. So if they enter a 10-foot radius of you, you can hit them. This also increases your attack of opportunity range as well, so they have more to play around with, but it's dangerous to come close to you to begin with. For future levels, why not? Go full fighter. No barbarian needed due to the features available to you. Take the Hill, Storm, and Frost runes in that order, and make sure to take as many dumb feats as you can. Great Weapon Master, Martial Adept, the fighting style one to grab defense, Sentinel, nothing can go amiss here. Number 5 is one that calls for a bit of finesse. It is the Elven Weapon Master, and it's a build for level 6 characters. For your background, go with Outlander. Why? Because elves be in nature, yo. And then for your levels, go with 6 in Fighter, taking the Archery fighting style at level 1, the Battle Master subclass at level 3, or Arcane Archer if your DM is okay with you homebrewing it to be better because it sucks in vanilla. And then for your feats, go with Elven Accuracy at level 4 and Crossbow Expert at level 6, or vice versa. With this combination, you can use 2 hand crossbows, and with Action Surge, Extra Attack, and the Crossbow Expert feat, you can make 5 attacks in a round at level 6. If you have advantage, you can roll 3 dice because of Elven Accuracy, and you can even do this at close range from Crossbow Expert. For future levels, just keep on with Fighter. Maybe take some Rogue or Ranger if you want to spice things up a little, but Fighter tends to be the best with this one. Take the Sharpshooter feat at level 8, 3 levels into Rogue for Assassin wouldn't go amiss, but make sure you grab that Sharpshooter, and then just annihilate. Character number 6 is one that I like to call the Sprinter, because they hate long distance running. For your race, go with Tabaxi, because they have an ability where they can double their movement speed on a turn, and it recharges after they spend a single turn not moving, which is why I said they hate long distance. But that means they can just keep doing it every other turn. And we'll get more into why that's stupid later on. Your background does not matter. Go with Criminal because it sounds edgy or whatever you feel like. And then for your class levels, start with 1 in Monk, and then rapidly go 1 more into Rogue, and then fill out so you have a total of 6 in Monk and 2 in Rogue. At monk level 3, go with the Way of the Shadows for your subclass, and then at level 4, take the mobile feat. With this build, in one turn, you can go 330 feet. Stack this with the haste spell, boosts of speed, or anything else like that, and you can literally run circles around your targets, and they'll never see you coming. For future levels, just build this like a regular character. Do whatever you will. More levels in monk means more movement, so maybe consider that. But also you could go into rogue and grab some better abilities, so it's entirely up to you. Character number 7 is called the Skill Master, and they are a level 7 build. Start by going with any race that grants you 2 skill proficiencies. Any of Changeling, Half-Elf, Lizard Folk, Orc, Tabaxi, or any of the Van Richten's lineages, Dhampir, Hexblood, or Reborn. Then take a background. Any background. They all get 2 proficiencies. Then take a level in Rogue, which gives you 4 more and 2 expertises. A level in Cleric, which you should take the Knowledge Domain subclass for another 2 proficiencies. 4 levels in Bard for another 1 and 2, and no more in Cleric or Rogue, sadly. At Bard level 3, go with the Lore subclass, which gives you 3 more. At level 4, take the Skilled feat for another 3. But wait, it's only 17 out of 18. Did I mess up somewhere? It's also only 6 levels. Take that 7th level in Ranger, granting you a final proficiency. So with 4 classes, you have every proficiency, 4 expertises, and also Thieves' Tools and an instrument too. It's not great in combat being spread out so far, but it's incredibly useful outside of it. To level this guy up further, you can go Rogue for all the way up to 11 for Reliable Talent, meaning any ability check you have proficiency with, you cannot roll lower than a 10. So every single check. Cleric is always good for the casting, Ranger 3 for some subclass things, and then Bard can be taken up further, potentially for magical secrets. It's up to you. Whatever sounds best. But for level 7, that's how you get them all. Character number 8 is a build that I have dubbed the Noble Rider. It's a level 12 character focused around being on a mount, so buckle up. Start by going with Halfling as your race and Lightfoot for your subrace. Why? I don't know. Then go with Noble for your background. It's integral to the pomp that you must exude with this guy. Then take a level in Fighter and round out to a total of 3 in Fighter and 9 in Bard. When you reach Fighter level 1, take the Great Weapon Fighting or Dueling fighting styles. Then at level 3, take the Cavalier subclass. At Bard level 3, go with Lore. And then at level 4, take the Lucky feat, and at 8, take the Polar Master feat. And at level 9, switch out one of your magical secret spells for Find Greater Steed. Now, at character level 12, you can be a little flying guy around on a Pegasus with a cowboy hat on. And I just think that's great. For future levels, you can go higher in Bard for more spells, or more in Fighter for the feats and combat prowess. Maybe just dip into both to maximize ASIs. What you do after the initial level is up to you. Character number 9 is Roadburn, and it's another level 12 build. Start by going with a level in Rogue, and then spec out so you have 10 levels in Druid and 2 in Rogue. Make sure you take Athletics as one of your expertises for Rogue. It will be incredibly useful later. When you hit Druid level 2, go with Circle of the Moon as your subclass, and then there are no feat requirements. Take whatever you want, though the melee ones won't go amiss here, as you'll see later. The trick behind this one is to cast Longstrider to increase your movement speed, Spike Growth to create an area of damaging terrain and then turn into an air elemental, grapple an opponent, and drag them along your Spike Growth with as much movement as you can. Spike Growth has no save DC. It's just automatic magical piercing damage, 2d4 every 5 feet. So in one turn of moving, 90 feet of flying, plus an extra 10 from Longstrider, halved since you're dragging a creature, that's 50, or 20d4 piercing damage. Dash on your bonus action, and it's 40d4. Have haste cast on you, 80d4. Back and forth until they're ground into nothing. To level this guy up, you can do anything. It's kind of a one-trick pony, but its trick is pretty damn good. And our last build for today, number 10, is going to be the God Wizard. And it's a build for all the way at level 20. This one can be any race, any background. Shoot for power. You can't pick wrong. Start with 2 levels in Artificer, taking the Replicate Magic item Bag of Holding twice. And then at Wizard level 1, take Find Familiar and have them drop that Bag of Holding into the other one. You've made an astral plane bomb. But it only gets crazier from here. You're going to drop Artificer there and take Wizard all the way up to 18, and here's what you've got on the way. At Wizard level 3, you can cast Rope Trick, get up inside the hidden arena, drop down, cast a cantrip, and climb back up inside, pulling the rope behind you as a free object interaction. Also, make sure to take Wrist Pocket whenever you can. It's needed at level 10. At Wizard level 10, we get the best thing this build has going for it. Arcane Abeyance. When you use this ability, it turns a single spell of levels 1 through 4 into an object, a mote, when you cast it. You can then designate that mote as your Wrist Pocket item. And when you cast the mote, it does not get destroyed, it disappears, which means that you can use the Wrist Pocket to summon it back for the entire hour it exists for. So you have infinite castings of a level 1 through 4 spell for an hour. Also at Wizard level 10, you can cast Find Familiar using your Arcane Abeyance ability to store Find Familiar, give your familiar a familiar, and theirs, and theirs, and theirs, for infinite familiars. Or Mordenkainen's Faithful Hounds if you're thinking with portals, and use the previous trick to get an infinite number of castings of that spell. You can also take Nystel's Magic Aura and designate any creature as any other creature type to banish, bind, or magic jar it. So you can just make it compatible with any spell. Infinite Simulacrum turn loop time. At Wizard level 13, take Simulacrum, then have them polymorph you into a horse or T-Rex or whatever, after you use one of the Tasha's summoning spells. This summon takes its turn on your turn, but also after your turn. So basically, first turn you say to wait, and then it starts to stack on itself until you're the only thing acting anymore and you have broken action economy forever. Once you're a 17th level wizard and have Wish, you can cast Simulacrum, have them cast Wish to copy you after you rest and have all your slots back. Then the third one casts it to make a 4th and a 5th and so on and so on. They'll all be missing their 9th level slots. And the first one that you use will also be missing their 7th. But you have infinite use for the cost of only 1 spell, which is like, I don't know, 500 gold's worth of ruby dust and some clay or something like that. And then there's Shape Change and Clone. You essentially make a genetic copy of your altered form to jump into if you die, so you come back permanently powered up. Take feats like Warcaster, Metamagic Adapt, Fey Touched, and stuff like that to get even more spell options. I'm sure you get the idea by now. God Wizard. It's just a wizard who's creative, and there's not much else to say, really. And there you have it. 10 more powerful character builds. Thank you all for watching, everyone. After the success of the last one, we just had to come back with another. And if you want to see even more of these, feel free to let us know down in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe to not miss anything else we put out, and also go on ahead and follow us over on Twitch, where we play in a weekly-ish campaign. And also, we have a Twitter and an Instagram where we post player and character highlights, video notifications, and much more. But yeah, I think that's everything for today, guys. Bye.